Hello, my loves. Sam Sharman here. For those who know me, I am a musician, artist, event curator, and erotic embodiment guide. And today I'm going to be using my platform to talk about my experience and my perspective on the Epstein Files. Very obvious trigger warning on the content of this video from both the macro perspective and also my own personal story and perspective. If some of you have seen some of my interviews that I've given on podcasts or spoken from different platforms before, you may know that I myself am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse from a man who may have indeed been a part of this ring, or if not directly, in the same kind of class of elite, violent people who have been doing ritualistic sorts of violence upon our children of this nation in order to maintain their power and their status quo. So, what is it that I want to offer you today as someone who has not just survived this kind of abuse, but who has used it to thrive and to make a difference for not only my life, but those around me? I think the question that we often ask ourselves, whether we're the ones who have gone through the violence or just a part of a nation that is embedded in violence, is why? Why did this happen? Why is this still happening? And what can I do about it? What am I supposed to do about it? Those questions can feel so heavy and weighted at first until you start to answer them. And then they feel really empowering and firing. They fire you. They give you your juice. They give you your motivation to continue going. So I'm going to start with the answers that I've come up with for my why and for what was the purpose of this. I have boiled my why into 3 answers about why am I here on earth in the first place? Why did I incarnate? Why now? And why did I go through this horrifying thing as a child? And I will tell you those 3 answers. The first is for liberation, collective liberation. And I'll go into that in a moment. The second is for the rising of the divine feminine consciousness to balance this planet again. And the third is to help myself and others become, not just theoretically realize, but to embody being a creator of their reality through creative expression. So first, let's talk about liberation and its very specific relationship to sexual violence. So as some of you may know, either through studying Tantra or your own experience and embodiment, or from hearing other people speak, sexuality is indeed a portal to the divine. Our sex is a portal back to our divine energy. One beautiful trip that I had, psychedelic experience that I had, I took some mushrooms, and for about 3 hours I could not stop. Literally was just orgasming the entire time. By the way, I actually do want to say this before I tell the rest of the story. As a survivor of childhood sexual abuse in particular, I had no positive feeling in my body until I was an adult. I could barely, or not even really, at all. I was numb everywhere, or there was pain when it was activated. And now, as some of you may know from my work that I do, I am a very person. I don't even need to use my hands. I can use my mind and breath and intention to create full body forms. But that did not happen overnight. That happened with years of work investigating these same questions of why and investigating the path toward sexual liberation and organic liberation. So now resuming the story where I was in a psychedelic experience and having this multi-hour long hands-free orgasm. And I had this embodied realization that what we call is when we rejoin the frequency of what we call God. God, source, mystery. It is life creating itself. It is life creating life, creating life, creating life. It is the energy of creation itself. And so when we rejoin back to that momentarily, we rejoin back to the frequency of God. This is my understanding and belief. And we have this direct access through our sexuality to that portal where we get to rejoin the frequency of God. And so when our violence is enacted upon us, it removes that access temporarily. It can be restored and healed, right? But it removes our access to that divine. And when we remove our access to that divine, we remove our access to power. And we believe that power exists outside of us. And then we believe narratives that say we have to do this in order to get that power or that love or rejoin with that sense of divinity. So then somebody else gets to come in and essentially be your God. They have power over you. If you believe that you do not have the power inside of you, then somebody else has that power, and then you are a slave to that power, which is exactly what this ruling violent class of people wants. So part of my mission here on this earth is to help others perform the ritual of self-healing, the rituals of self-healing, the journey to restore the pleasure and power that is innate to each and every soul embodied, to each and every consciousness embodied. The second reason for my why and for what am I supposed to do with my story and my journey is the rising of the divine feminine consciousness on this planet. For so long, tactics exactly like rape and violence and murder, but specifically rape, have been used to suppress the power and the wisdom in the divine feminine. The divine feminine knows that the body holds all the answers. It holds all the keys that you could ever need. And so when we are cut off from our body, when our body is full of violence and pain, and so we distort from it and we escape it, then we escape the divine feminine. We suppress the divine feminine. And why does patriarchy and these ruling elite violence class want the divine feminine repressed? Because the divine feminine will tell you that you don't need a power elsewhere telling you what to do in order to get the fake salvation that they promise through capitalism, through working, through church, etc. We know, the divine feminine knows embodied that it's here, it's already here, and it's just a matter of unlocking it, of switching on, of activating the own divine consciousness within your body. The divine feminine is also inextricably linked to the earth, to the physical realm. We know that when we hurt the earth or when we hurt the other, we hurt ourselves. This is a collective rising. We cannot do it one over the other. If I push your head down, I get taller. No, we know that it's expressly linked to all of our liberation, including the physical earth. And you can't have a system of hierarchical power if everyone is equal and if the earth as an embodied consciousness is respected. So reason number 2, the divine feminine rising. And my third reason of why did this happen to me and what am I supposed to do with my story and what do I do about all of this violence going on in the world? The answer is become a creator. Get out of the system of slavery. Stop working 9-to-5 jobs or, 5-to-9 jobs or finance or service industry or this or that or this. If you are building anyone else's dream or machine besides your own, you are still a slave in the system, my friend. And I do not say this lightly, as if it doesn't require immense struggle and work and passion and belief and faith. I have spent the last 6 years in struggle and faith and belief. But I am here to tell you that it is possible and that you are meant to do what you are meant to do. You are meant to do what makes you the happiest, what brings you the most joy, where you feel most alive and aligned and express in your pleasure and in your wisdom and in your service to the world. That is what you are supposed to do, I promise you. Now, it may take some time to figure out the equation of how do I actually financially, sovereignly support myself as I do this in a world that is still bound by the capitalism that was created by these evil monsters. It might take some time to solve that equation, but it is solvable. I promise you. I promise you it's solvable. You're meant to do what you're meant to do. So, as you ingest and process the information that is in front of us now about the Epstein Files and the horrifying nature of the people who lead our nations, I invite you to take your power back by answering the question, for what purpose? What is my why? Why am I here? And then do that thing. That is the only thing that you can do. I also invite you into my reasons. I invite you to liberate your pleasure and find the divine portal through your. I invite you to support the rising of divine feminine consciousness by nurturing the feminine energy inside of yourself, which we all have, no matter what gender we were assigned at birth. And I invite you to step into your power as your reality creator. No one else can do this for you. You are here for a reason. Go after it fearlessly and fiercely. And all of the weight of the why and all of the weight of the what do I do about it, channel that into what you are here for. I love you. And my inbox is open for survivors and for people who want to know more about the journey of sexual healing and enlightenment and empowerment. We are rising. We are spewing this toxic energy out of the collective soul of this planet. We are upgrading our frequency. We are becoming a new earth. It is not an easy process. No one said it would be, but it is going to liberate and unite us all. Blessings.